Give us a little insight on what the weather delays meant for the tournament, what it will mean moving forward. And Andrew Landry looks locked in. Gil, how are you?
I'm doing well, Mike. How are you today?
I'm doing well. I've enjoyed watching the tournament. They are very backed up here with the weather yesterday. How, first off, do you think the weather from yesterday has affected this tournament and will affect it moving forward?
Well, a couple of notes on that. Obviously, yesterday we had 3 stoppages of play. In the past day and a half, we've had almost 3 inches of rain. So it's really softened the golf course up. And I think one of the interesting things to look at today and through the end of the tournament is if the guys who played yesterday, who went off in white out here on the PGA Tour, folks aren't familiar with it. They usually start in 2 tees and in 2 waves. So if you tee off on the 10th hole Thursday morning, you're going to tee off on the first hole Friday afternoon. That would be an early-late wave, and then you'd have a late early wave, which would be the guys who were supposed to play yesterday afternoon and then play this morning. Well, obviously that got completely screwed up, right? And so the guys who played yesterday, who had to come back and finish their round today, were finished. They're not going to tee off again till tomorrow morning for their second rounds, and then Saturday afternoon they hope to complete the third round in threesomes off 2 tees, and then be on schedule for a Sunday night finish. But the point is that the guys who are playing today and playing 36 holes today, back to back, to see if these guys wind up having a distinct advantage in that way. The last time we had a big delay like this, Mike, and at that stage, Black up on Long Island in 2009, this happened where the morning wave of the first day really got the bad end of the deal. And out of that wave, only Tiger Woods wound up finishing in the top 10. It was the guys in that afternoon wave who came back the next afternoon after the storms had passed, after the course was very soft, and that was a wave that really got it going with guys like Lucas Glover and Mike Weir and Ricky Barnes and Phil Mickelson, and guys David Duval, the guys who wound up finishing up near the top. So we've already seen some very good scoring this morning, because the course is going to get tougher as the weekend goes on. It's going to dry out significantly here by tomorrow and then Sunday. So these guys today playing, just watch out and see where some of these guys finish this evening, and see if that winds up being the case.
Gil Capps on the Golf Channel is at Oakmont, where right now it is Landry, as we mentioned, having a historic type of day. I mean, he has shot very, very well, 4 under 66 in the opening round. And we also see Dustin Johnson, who had a great day. Lee Westwood is also doing very well. So give us your thoughts on the top part of the leaderboard as we are about halfway through day number 2.
Well, those are the guys who take advantage of the scoring conditions. But
Yep.
last time at the U.S. Open here at Oakmont in 2007, we only had 8 subpar rounds the entire championship, and we had 11 in the first round. So those guys up toward the top. The other thing to mention, a lot of those names that you talked about, and I'm not going to discount Andrew Landry, because we've seen sports, right? You never know what's going to happen, but we certainly have had surprise first-round leaders and second-round leaders in the U.S. Open before. But you listed some of those names: Dustin Johnson, Lee Westwood, Sergio Garcia, Henrik Stenson got in at 1 under, and the common thread among those 4 guys is no majors. And those 4 guys would probably be the top 4 guys among anybody's list about the guys the best players who've never won a major championship. So that's a little interesting. They put themselves in that position, and the guy obviously right there, Dustin Johnson, who we talked about the other day, no bogeys in his first round this morning. He's getting ready to go off here for a second round. If he can keep it going, but we still have 3 rounds to go, and to see how Dustin would finish Saturday and Sunday off once the pressure really gets ratcheted up, and you have to hold in your emotions, and you have to make good decisions and not succumb to the moment.
Gil, yeah, and we saw, I think, Cabrera, by the way, who won back in 2007. I saw him teeing off earlier this morning. He is tied for 12th. You got some veteran guys that are, I think right around, he's at the even mark. So you see, as you mentioned, a bunch of guys under, and then a bunch of guys at the even mark, and then we're more traditional. I guess the guys who are in that over are not benefiting from the course as much playing today.
There are just some big names, right? I mean, out of the, only one player in the top 5 in the world was under par, and that's Bubba Watson, who got in with a 69, and he won't play second round till tomorrow morning. And Jordan Spieth, obviously, 72, he's still right there in the mix. But Jason Day, 76, and Rory McIlroy, 77 were two big surprises. That's 1 and 3 in the world. Guys with soft conditions, you thought they could really take advantage of this golf course, and it's hard. There's an old adage, right? You can't win the U.S. Open or any major on the first day, but you can certainly lose it. And those guys would have to produce some kind of historic comeback to win this thing, because in the last 60 years, nobody's opened with a score higher than 75 and come back to win the U.S. Open.
Gil, how do the players handle something like this? I mean, obviously, they're probably not very happy. You got a lot of ornery guys hanging out there yesterday in Pittsburgh?
I think the one thing the players weren't happy with yesterday was the fact that the first delay, when it got suspended, and the delay was about an hour, and then they were forced to go right back out without having a chance to warm back up, which usually about an hour. On a regular PGA Tour event, they'd be allowed to go hit a few balls and then go back out there. So that got the ire of a few players, including Jordan Spieth. And that's another reason I think why those guys who wound up playing yesterday in that first wave, they had to endure the start and the stop, and then they will have to, most of them, all but 9 players, had to come back again this morning and finish their first round, and they won't come back again until tomorrow morning to start their second round that way. While, as I said, that afternoon, that late early wave, the Mickelsons, the Dustin Johnsons, they will just play 36 here straight through in pretty nice conditions. It's a very nice day here today. The wind's died down a little bit here this afternoon, even more than this morning, and those guys could wind up having a significant advantage.
Give us Rory's story, 77. Tough day for Rory. I guess, I don't know, what's that mean for him the rest of the way?
It could mean that he's not here tomorrow afternoon for the third round. That's one of the quandaries of Rory McIlroy, right? We always look at him and see the talent, but he is such a hot and cold player. And, I don't know. I try to figure it out sometimes, whether he's completely interested sometimes, whether sometimes he kind of psychs himself out on certain golf courses. This is a very tough golf course, and Rory has won his majors and been real successful on golf courses that didn't play particularly tough. You think about the U.S. Open at Gresham in 2011 when he shoots a championship record 16 under, and then Kiowa Island and PGA Championship in 2012, and then the Open Championship in PGA in 2014, soft golf courses where he really went low on them. But these guys, everybody's human, Mike, and that's one of the things when it gets to major championships. These guys do get nervous, and they know the importance of them, and they know that it's necessary to get off. You don't have to shoot real low. It's necessary to get off to a solid start and not put yourself too far behind the 8 ball like a 76 or a 77.
Gil Capps from the Golf Channel is with us. Gil, if you could, everybody, they move this tournament from year to year, and there's always something very unique about each course. This one is the 609 par 5 fourth hole. What is that hole like? How daunting is that when you're there in person?
Well, the signature of this golf course, are those church pews bunkers, which sit between the third hole and the fourth hole. They're more in play for 3 than 4. But one of the things that we all talk about how tough Oakmont is, right? But I think one of the things people overlook with this golf course is you have about half the par 4s which play really, really tough and are really, really long. And you have about the other half of the par fours, which are relatively short speaking, but you would think guys could be able to take advantage of, that par fours that range from kind of, 320 to 360, 370, which gives a great variety on this golf course. Those holes wind up playing tough, but in retrospect, if you really think about the golf course, and I think players, on those holes and on some of these holes, you still have to attack in certain places. You still have to make some birdies, which is one of those stats where we think U.S. Open tough. It's about making pars. Not really. It's about making birdies. That's the one common denominator that the champions have, is they tend to lead in birdies or be right up there in the top, in the top 2 or 3. And even with a course like Oakmont that's as vaunted as being tough, and with the rough and the bunkers and these greens, which are diabolical, and every time we come, people say they're even tougher than Augusta National. You still got to make some birdies here and there.
All right, Gil Capps enjoying a beautiful day at Oakmont today as we turn around and see Landry still 4 under, Dustin Johnson 3 under, Lee Westwood 3, Sergio 2. They are your leaders here in the second round at the U.S. Open. And, of course, Gil from the Golf Channel, I've been watching a lot of the coverage there. And, of course, tomorrow should be a wild day where you'll see some second-round guys teeing off early in the morning. We hope you enjoy the rest of the tournament, Gil.
Hey, Mike, thank you very much as always. Appreciate it.
Always a pleasure.